Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. All right, let's make sure that we are working because Facebook. All right, just give you a minute to come on. All right, I got the notification. Yes, that's always helpful. That's how we know that things are working, is when I get the notification on my profile that things are going. All right, I'm just sharing this live over. Hello, Carmen. Good morning. How are you? I hope you are fabulous. All right, it's not working. That's all right. I'll share it later. So what I was wanting to really talk with you about today is something that comes up all the time. This comes up all the time. And I think that what I was reminded of, or what I've been reminded of, is that, I think we always think that everybody else is absolutely confident. We always think that everyone is always motivated, inspired, jazzed. Good morning, Sandy. How are you? And we kind of assume that everyone else has always got all their shit together, right? Or that they're feeling inspired, or that they're feeling motivated, or they're like, yeah, I've totally got this nailed. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And the fact of the matter is that that's actually not true. And I think this is something that just doesn't probably really get talked about enough. And what we're talking about is that the question that people often ask, and then what is going on underneath that. So the question that people often ask themselves, and I know that this happens all the time on social media, it's, what the heck am I going to talk about? What am I going to post today? What am I going to talk about? How am I going to do it? Do I really have to? And then, that's kind of like the presenting symptom, if you like. So some of you will know, because you follow me, I was in hospital with my son over the last couple of weeks, in and out of hospital for a couple of weeks, and they were looking at his presenting symptoms, right? Which was a temperature, sore tummy, and, a whole range of other stuff. And, so they looked at the presenting symptoms. So the presenting symptom for a lot of people like yourselves can often be like, I'm feeling a bit like, oh my God, a bit overwhelmed. I don't know what I want to talk about today. And that's the first thing. But if we come underneath that, because that's usually the thing that's at the front of mind, underneath that, often what's really going on is that people are worried. I know I've been worried about this kind of stuff. People are worried about what other people are going to think of them. They're worried about what their peers might think about them. They're worried about saying the wrong thing. And this kind of brings in that whole concept and that whole topic around imposter syndrome. You might like to, on the other end of the camera, put your hand up if you've ever experienced imposter syndrome. I know I have, and it's really fascinating. And I, most of the time, I'm kind of like, yeah, I've got this is fine. But imposter syndrome still can really kind of kick in for me as well. And one of the examples that I can give you really recently, actually, is hey, how are you, Christine? Glad it's not just me. All right, that's good. We're in good company. So just really recently, I was asked to do a keynote for, Joey, yay, hello. I was asked to deliver a keynote for a previous client and friend of mine, Gerda Muller, for her Elevate conference for mental health professionals in Australia, here in Australia. And holy shit, right? I knew that everyone in the industry is particularly qualified. They're really amazing. Like, they're wonderful, wonderful group of people, very similar to you guys. And I was shitting bricks, particularly last year, the first time that I did it. And I was so caught up in not feeling good enough, not feeling educated enough, not feeling qualified enough, not feeling funny enough, not feeling, all of the things. I know that I also present particularly differently to the way a lot of other people present. And, and that's okay. That's okay. With my audience, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I've totally got this. I've got this. I know you guys, but put me into a different a different group of people, I was freaking out. And, you know, I've had conversations around this with them because I told them, feeling very vulnerable that I was basically afraid of them. It's kind of like, I guess, you know, to put a little bit of perspective for me, you know, regarding imposter syndrome, you know, social media and visibility can feel a little bit like it's a nice to have. And these people are out there, you know, helping people with anxiety and mental health issues and, you know, real life stuff. And here am I saying, you need to go do more things on social media. So I was feeling, and I know that it's important and I know that it's necessary. And, you know, I've done the work on all of this, you guys, right? So I'm not treating you like my therapist. Done all the work on it, but it was really interesting that this little cockroach even kind of came skittering across my brain, these little gremlins that really need to be doused in water, you know, for like the Gremlin movie, doused in water and disappeared because, you know, it's a whole bunch of bullshit, right? The imposter syndrome, seriously, it's a really great tool for self-sabotage. So I guess like one of the things that we need to really come back to is, or the thing that I think that you need to come back to and how it relates to what the heck do we talk about being the presenting symptom, we've got to come underneath that and deal with this imposter syndrome. And I think one of the best ways that you can do that is remind yourself that you are a mofo badass. You can say the full version of that. And I normally would. I don't know why I self-censored. That's kind of funny. You are an absolute badass. You are brilliant and amazing at what it is that you do and how you do it with who you do it for. You are kicking goals, you're kicking ass, and even if you might not necessarily feel like it today, I can guarantee you that you are, right? It's the only reason that you're even in my world, it's the only reason that you're even following this page is because you have got some element of you within you. Maybe not today and maybe not yesterday, but I can guarantee you maybe this afternoon or tomorrow you go, actually, you know what? I am a freaking badass. I do know my stuff. I am here to help and to serve and to do, you know, really, really cool things and to help people in whichever way, shape or form it is that you do that. So I think that if we first of all put this little bitch, because that's what it is, put this little bitch of imposter syndrome to bed and go, not today. Right? And this is what I had to do literally with this Elevate conference. I was like, I had all of them, stop. And I had a little help from my gorgeous friend, Joe. And I was like, we just need to stop and put that over there. Because, you know, people, it's the same old thing, right? People are going to like you or they're not going to like you. People are going to resonate with your stuff or they're not going to resonate with your stuff. You don't need everyone on the planet to support you, to love you, to like you, to approve of you, to agree with you. You don't need any of that. Hey, Jess. So you just need to put that little bitch of imposter syndrome to the side. Not today. I've got shit to do, right? And then that's it. Off you go. You're going to go and do something. And I'm going to talk about this. So the next thing that I guess that generally comes up is people go, all right, imposter syndrome, bitch, be gone. What's next? Well, all right, so what am I going to say? What I'm going to say? How am I going to say it? How much am I supposed to share? Right? So you might go and put something up. And then the next thing that tends to happen is we go, oh my God, should I have posted that? Who has had posting remorse? Me. I've had posting remorse. I've had live stream remorse. I've had, holy fuck, I shouldn't have said that swear word remorse. I've had that, oh my God, I shouldn't have shared that story remorse. I've absolutely had put something out there and then have that, you know, that red, Brené Brown talks about this, you know, the bright red cheeks of that shame response. It's like, oh my God, should I have done that? I probably shouldn't have done that. You know, I've definitely felt that. And I know lots of other people have as well. And then the next thing that tends to happen, particularly when you go and put your heart and soul out there and you're like, my heart is out there, you guys, please don't stomp on it. And you're like, it can feel really vulnerable. But then what happens if you don't delete it unless you've done something really egregiously awful or unethical, then you should go and do something about that. But otherwise, keep that out there. And here's the thing that tends to happen next. We get a level of external validation. And this always happens. And it's really, really amazing when it happens. Now we've gone like right at the start, we've gone, I'm amazing, I'm a badass, I'm fantastic, and all of this. Okay, I'm gonna go and do something. Oh my God, now I want to vomit, and I should probably go and delete that. Exactly, Joe. Where's the delete button? But my hands and palms are too sweaty to press delete. Can you turn that off? Hang on one second. Can you turn that off for a minute? The joys of homeschooling. I will let you know when I'm done. So, seems like my son is hungry or thirsty, which is a good sign. It's a good sign. So we go, all right, holy crap, I've got all of that. But then here's the thing that happens. Don't press delete, because someone will come to you, and either through a message or through a comment or through hitting reply on an email or stopping you in the street. This has happened to me. They might stop you in the street and they will say, thank you. Thank you for posting that thing that you did. Thank you for sharing those steps. Thank you for, being so open. Thank you for letting me know that it's okay to be freaking human. Thank you for letting me know about your failures, because it gave permission for me to fail. Thank you for crying on your live stream because, it reminded me how important it is to feel. There are so many things that we have reflected back to us, and it's not great to rely on external validation, but I promise you it always happens, right? So how do we do this? I guess because, now that we know, all right, the imposter syndrome bitch is real, and it's not just you. And in fact, I was talking with somebody recently who is completely booked out. They have got no space for new clients, and they were saying to me, oh my gosh, I had the biggest thing of imposter syndrome hit me today. And I was thinking, who am I? This is an incredibly well-qualified person. All of the results are being achieved by her clients. Like it's extraordinary seeing her, the things that she's doing, to hear her turn around and say, just imposter syndrome was kicking my ass. It was ridiculous, is a really big reminder that it's not just us, right? It's everybody feels like this. Every single client I think I have had, bar none that I can think of, has dealt with this. So I guess how can we make it a bit easier? And I think for me, that's really the key. It's how can we make this easier for you? One of the first things, so I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 steps in my notes that I want to share with you to make sure I cover them off. All right, so I'm just going to be looking up here. So the very, very first thing is, we've got imposter syndrome bitch is being retired. We don't want her on the payroll anymore. We're not, she's not living rent-free, or he not living rent-free in our head anymore. Gone, be gone, not today. So all of that's done. The first thing that we need to do is forget about what everyone else is doing, right? We don't care what anyone else is doing. I don't care what any other business coach is doing. I don't care what any other social media person is doing. I don't care what anybody else is doing whatsoever. I mean, I care because I care about them as a human, but I couldn't give a flying shit what anyone else is doing. It doesn't matter. My job is to show up for you, to deliver the message, to do the thing, to help you, support you, guide you, motivate, inspire you, make you laugh, make you feel something, whatever it is that you are experiencing on the other end of this. That is my job. I have to forget about what everyone else is doing. Your second step is to come back to the golden question. And I will be putting the notes in here later on for you to come back to if you want to revisit these steps. The golden question. Are you ready? Are you ready for the golden question? Really? Really? Okay. I will tell you. I will assume that you are sitting there nodding your head saying, yes, Nicola, please tell me the motherfucking golden question. All right. The golden question is, what do my people need or want to hear today? What do my people need to hear today? So what we need to do is get you out of your own head. We've got to stop you thinking about yourself, right? And I don't mean that in a horrible way, but in this instance, for your content creation, for your drive, your motivation to get out there and connect on social media, you have to stop thinking about yourself. You really, really do. So the golden question is to help you step into your hot cold clients' shoes, those people that you want in your audience, the people that you really want to help and support and guide and motivate and inspire and educate, all of that. And think, all right, what is that thing that they really need to hear today? Because if I sit and do that, then I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about what Carmen needs to hear. I'm thinking about what Christy needs to hear. I'm thinking about what Sandy needs to hear. I'm thinking about what Amanda needs to hear. I'm thinking about what Joe needs to hear. And then that way I'm coming from a place of service as well, which is also really important. So that's a really great way of getting out of your own head, going, what do my people need to hear today? And then get out there and tell them, share it with them. Go do that. The third thing that you can then do is make sure that you've got a content plan. So again, this comes back to being really like, if you don't have a content plan right now, if you have not got a social media content plan right now, you freaking need one. This is not a nice to have. This is your safety net. This is the thing that you can rely on. It's actually, mine is on the back of that flip chart over there in the corner. So the thing that you've got to come back to is like, all right, I've got to create a content plan, right? Now, the fourth thing then is you've got to use your content plan, or you can free flow, right? So every day it's like, all right, what do my people need to hear today? You can look at your content plan, go, all right, yeah, I agree. That's what they need to hear. Or you can freestyle, you can free flow. It's completely up to you with whatever is easier. Right? Whatever is easier. But if you've got a content plan, and I actually did this, when I came out on Monday and I said, coffee runs are back, I am ready to work, right? Coffee runs back. I actually have literally in my journal, I've got on here, number 2, and I did this on, I think I wrote this out on Friday or Saturday actually. I've got overwhelmed with all the things. And then that was what I've got as my live for the second day, which is today. So, because I only started coming back on Tuesday. So it's like, all right, overwhelmed with all the things. That's what we're going to talk about. So what always happens, and it's like, it's so cool when you come back into sitting in a place of trust within yourself, that you're trusting that you're making the right decisions, when you trust that you're doing the right things. It's like, I couldn't have planned it better to have the conversations around imposter syndrome this morning, like literally this morning, and messages about imposter syndrome. Going, all right, well, that really ties in to feeling overwhelmed with what to say, feeling overwhelmed with your content creation, because I know that that's the underlying thing that can stop people putting themselves out there. So yeah, your content plan is great, but then often you'll be sitting there going, all right, what do my people need to hear today? Look at that. Oh my gosh, I've just had this conversation with this person and I have to get out there and talk to the world about it. Like, I can't contain this. Everyone needs to know about this. So you can do that. The fifth thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. The fifth thing that is the fifth point, not a thing. The fifth point is you have to remain consistent. Guys, you have to be consistent with your content creation. It actually makes it easier for you. Once you've got that the content motivation train rolling, you get, the more motivated you are, the more motivated you are. The more inspired you are, the more inspired you become, right? So it kind of is like a self-feeding circle of things. So when you are consistent, it automatically helps you be more consistent and be more motivated and be more inspired. You will not get abs, rock hard abs, or the ass that you want, or the figure that you want, or the quad muscles that you want, or the health stamina that you want by going to the gym once and then only thinking about going to the gym for the rest of the month. Ain't gonna happen. It is not going to happen. So you've got to be consistent. And the sixth thing that is, the sixth point that is, that is really, really important, of course, is to remain focused. Right? Sounds obvious, but dance to the beat of your own drum. Stay in your own lane. All of those crazy cliches, because once you've become a bit more comfortable, it's easy to then go, oh, maybe I'll go and check out what such and such in my industry is doing. No, don't do that, because that tends to bring in imposter syndrome again. And then you land squarely back in that first square again, which just kind of, to be blunt, it just freaking sucks. Like you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to be in that position. So remain focused, remain consistent, and you've got this. So that is one way, I guess. Well, there's a few steps within that you can use in order to really get out of your own way and build your content out. One of the things that I do think is really important. Good morning, Joe. How are you? Something that I do think is really important is for you all to reconcile in your own head about why this is important, right? So why is this important and what purpose is it serving? And I guess, hey, Karen, and I guess one of the things that I always think about, and I talk about this a lot, not necessarily in here, but certainly in programs and things, because let's be honest, social media takes time, creating content takes time, and that does take you away from your admin or from your clients or from your family or from your health and well-being or from whatever. Like, it is an investment in you, and I think the way that we frame it is really important. So what I think about is this. And what I recommend that you might like to consider is this. If you think about your content, your social media stuff, your blogs, your emails that you're writing, and we'll talk about emails in a sec actually, the emails that you're writing and all of that kind of stuff, if we think about all of that, right? And it can feel very much like, oh, it's just going out into the black hole of, nothing, particularly when we don't have that external validation coming back, or that engagement, that visible engagement that we all really love. If we haven't got that coming back, it can feel very much like, well, fuck this shit, this isn't even working. I can guarantee you that it is. But just if we shift our thinking, we're not going to get down into that topic today. But I want you to think like this. What if social media is a bit like your charity work? What if the content you're creating is a bit like the charity work that pro bono work that I know a lot of you would love to be in the position to do, but for whatever reason, you've got all of these constraints around perhaps why you can't do a lot of that in the way that you might like. Think about this like your charity stuff. There are going to be some people who will never be able to access your services. There will be some people that will never be able to buy from you. There will be some people that will never be able to get in to work with you because maybe you have got a waiting list that's just too big, or maybe your practice is full, or maybe you just don't work with people one-on-one, whatever it is. Maybe if you were to think about that this is the stuff that is just going out there, serving the people without expecting anything in return, right? If you go out there and you put this stuff out there with that energy, then I can guarantee you that creates a huge ripple out in the world. It absolutely grows and increases your impact. It absolutely grows and increases your reach, and people are able to learn from you in a way that they would never be able to normally, right? And I think if we think about it in that way, then it makes it it's a much nicer way to come at what you're putting out there, like, rather than, oh my God, I have to go and do this because, having it feel like a chore or hard and things like that. So this is the charity work that I'm doing today. The other thing that happens is if you're going out there with that level of service and with that energy, there are always going to be people out there who are like, oh my gosh, if this is the stuff that you're giving away for free, and if this is the way that you're showing up, then God, like, I can't wait to work with you. How do I do that? So you will always pick up new clients if you have that ability, or there'll always be people who might buy your book or buy your course or buy your program or opt in for your free stuff or whatever it is that you happen to be putting out there. So, just think about the way that you're positioning and the energy that you're going out there with. It's a much nicer energy that, I'm here to serve energy rather than I'm doing this because I fucking have to kind of energy, right? You don't want to repel people. You want to magnetize them in. So that's that. The only other thing that I wanted to chat with you about today, given the state of affairs yesterday and the Facebook Armageddon that we all experienced, I have thrown together a program that is starting next week. It's called Save Your Ass, Build Your Email List. If you are not doing that, or if it's not working, this is not a nice to have. This is a must have. We saw the reasons why yesterday. You know, I would love for I know a ton of you follow me on here, and that's awesome. I know a lot of you don't get emails from me. Go over to my website, opt in for the free stuff. There's a ton of free stuff over there. If you want to keep hearing from me, then go and get your ass over onto my email list, because, you know, Facebook might shut down again. Who knows? My page might disappear overnight, which has also happened to lots of people. So you need to be doing this as well. I do, you know, obviously I've got this in place for myself. But it's really important that you don't just have one way of being able to connect and communicate with your audience. If you're interested in Save Your Ass, or if you're interested to save your ass, I always call my program something fun. That is starting on Monday, and yes, I will put the link in after, because it appears that it's not working. Hey Liz, how are you? Oh, maybe I'll try it in here. It's $4.97. It's 5 days. It's all recorded. You'll get a copy of the recording so you can access it live later. I am doing all of the instruction videos in terms of tech and everything like that at 7 a.m. Sydney time, Monday through Friday, Aussie time Sydney. Starting next week, you are good to go. All right. I think that is all of my words today. Whew. Hey Liz, how are you? All right, now remember, the big thing for you to remember, if nothing else, is that imposter syndrome is a little bitch that needs to be put over to the side so that you can go, all right, what am I going to do today? The golden question to ask is, what does my audience need to hear today? And then use that as the prompt or the motivation for you to go and create content. Remember to be consistent and show up so that your people know where to find you, how to find you, and they get to learn to love you, because you are amazing. On that note, my friends, I'm going to set you free to go and enjoy your hump day. So you know what you need to do. You need to get yourself out there, go help some people, have a whole ton of fun doing it. But most of all, remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesome. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.